my sound, your sound, and transition. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing all right. Well, I haven't done anything super exciting that I would want to share. So, have you been doing anything exciting that you want to share?
No, nothing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything super exciting, but I guess I do want to mention other stuff happening on this channel. Other than Sudoku on Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I stream Monster Hunter World on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and I also stream Final Fantasy VI at sort of random times. So if you're interested in any of that content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. And if you are interested in seeing me play any other content, any other games, make sure to let me know down in the comments below or in the live chat to the side. Actually, on your screen, it's probably on this side. Unless you're on your phone, and then it would be below. Aside from that, let's see, I mentioned Final Fantasy VI, Monster Hunter World, and Sudoku. Yeah. Then, oh, probably sounds a little weird. Alright, hopefully that improves things a little bit. Aside from that, I think it's Sudoku time.
It is Sudoku time.
Alright, adjust my headphones, get over to the puzzle. And first puzzle for today is going to be Nemo by Mr. Toffee. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along a slow thermometer, digits must increase or stay the same from the bulb to the tip. And that's it. So we've got our 3 bulbs there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. I guess that could go 8, 8.
Yeah.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. So that's 8 or 9. 8 or 9. 7 or 8. 7 or 8. 6 or 7. 5 or 6. 4 or 5. 3 or 4. 2 or 3. 1 or 2. 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess that makes everything else 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Although, the first one that you did, if you come back down to consider that branches. So if you start at the bulb, 1, 2, that has to be 5.
Oh.
In
Well, I guess this could actually be a 4 here. This is 4,
no,
4.
that
1,
has
2, 3,
no,
4.
but that branches 1, 2, and that's the 3, 4 pair. Well, I guess it could still be a 5. It can be up from the 4. Never mind.
Yeah, especially because it's a slow thermo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But the
and I
fact that
forgot
this
it
can be a
could be
4
higher.
kind of ruins what was going on in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That has to be minimum 5. This could still be a 4, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. This side doesn't look as extensive, so how about over here? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. If this was an 8, those could both be 9s. Well, if that was a 1, this could technically be a 2. 3, 4, 5.
Although that could be a 2 in box 3.
Right. So then this one goes all the way up to 7.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Also 3. 4. 5. Well, this one would be 6, but this one's 5. So
Although in
79.
box 6, the offshoot, the largest, no, the smallest the endpoint can be is 5.
Yeah, because it couldn't go 1, 2, 3. That would break this.
Right. So yeah, that can't, yeah. That's what I was trying to say. But then, of course, it can go higher, but
Okay. So I
right.
think
In boxes 7 and 9, the ones form an X-wing. So in box 8, the ones have to go at the top.
you can't put 1s here or here.
Box 4, the 1 has to go on the left side.
But you could put a 1 here and a 1
No,
there. This can't
because
be a
if you
1?
put a 1 where box 4, where you put a 1 in box
Oh,
4.
right. Fortunately, we get a 2 right here. Although if this was a 2, that would be a 1, and that would break that. So that can't be a 2. So that can't be a 3. So neither of those can be a 3.
So now 2s go over
4,
in box
5,
4
5.
along with the 1s.
1, 3, 4, 4. 5, 6, 7. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's missing 1, or one of the
Right.
digits from 4 through 9. And this chain is only missing 1 digit at max.
Right.
But I don't know if that's important. I guess right here sees a lot of it. So what could this be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess it could be 8 or 9. It could be 2 different digits. And of course, it can be anything else that is skipped in the thing. It's just one of 2 possible values. Oh, this cannot be an 8, because if it was, this would be a 9, and that would break both of those. So if that's not an 8, then the previous one's not a 7, the previous one's not a 6, this one can't be a 6 now, which means this can't be a 5, and this cannot be a 4. If this is a 4, that's a 4, and that's a 5. If this is a 5, then those are a pair of 4s. Ah, but this cannot be a 5, because then that would be a 4, and that would be nothing. So not a 5, 6, and 6.
7, 8, 9 triple in column 3.
Right. And in column 4. So that's going to take that 7 out. And 7, 8, 9 from here. Which means this is no longer maximum 6, no longer maximum 5, no longer maximum 4. And the 3 comes off of there. A 1, 2 pair takes those out. And we get a 1, 2 pair there. Other than the 1-2 pair, is there anything else horizontally going on? That's not enough. If this was a 4, this would have to be 2. Or 3. Well, no, because if this was a 4, that's a 3, which means that's a 2. Which means that would be nothing, because it would have to be smaller than 4, while
Right.
not being 3 or 2, and also not 1. And so if this was a 4, that would be too small. 4's not allowed, 5's not allowed. If this was a 5, you get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that has to be smaller. So this can't be a 5, and that out of 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that has to be smaller. So again, a 6 isn't allowed. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those digits is missing. It couldn't be that one. Because then all of the digits 1 through 6 would be taken, and you can't have anything smaller. That would have been the faster way of going about that. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But not enough to make anything happen.
Okay, in box 5, along the bottom, box 5 needs 7, 8, and 9. Along the bottom, you can only put one of those. Because with box 4, yeah,
We've got these two. So if only one of them can go here, and none of the others can, those two would have to be from 7, 8, and 9.
and then in row 6, 7, 8, 9 cannot appear in box 6 at all. Because one of
Right.
them is going to have to be in box.
And actually, the 6 has to be here.
Yeah.
In the bottom row of box 5.
Right, yeah. So then in box 6, 6 through 9 has to be up top somewhere.
6, 7, 8, 9, and an extra. Yeah, that doesn't feel helpful. Because it's not on a slow thermo line. One, two, two, three, four. Can't think of a reason why that wouldn't work. I'm trying to think if there are any other places where we can limit possibilities. So, like, if this was an 8 and that a 9, that would give us 7 and 6.
Okay, so then
Get an 8 there. A 7 here. We did 8, 9, 7, 6. This 8 places an 8 there. The 6 places a 7, 8, 9. This 8 forces that to be an 8, and those a pair of 9s. 8, 9 is a 7, 6, a 5, 4, a 4, and a 5. 6, 4 is 3. Because that ends up being an 8. It would be a 9. It would be a 7. So 9. It just didn't break, so not helpful. If this was a 2,
oh, box. Never mind. Right. Go ahead.
if
I
this
was
was
wrong.
a 2, then this would have to be a 3 and a 4. This would have to be a 5, and a 6. Which would make this a 5, and now you've got 4 and 5.
Right.
Because if this is a 5, that has to be. So then that would have to be a 6, making that a 5. And if that's a 4, that can't be. So this has to be a 1. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 9. 7, 6, not a 6. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. And also not 4 or 5. No, that's a 5, because 5 pair, 6, 7, 8. So then this is a 4 because of that 4. 1, 2, 3, where that's not a 1, that's not a 1, that is a 1. 5, 6, 7, where the 5's over here because of the 5 in this box. Not a 4, not a 4, so 5, 3, 6, and 2. 4 and 5 is out, 1 and 2 is placed, 3 and 2. 2, 3, 4. I don't need colors anymore. Five, 6, 7, 8. No. 4, 7, 8, 9. Apparently that's an 8, so those aren't. 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 4, 1, 5. Not a 5. This is broken. Well, this can still be a 7. So those can be the same. 7, 8, 9. So if that's a 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 7, 9, 6, 7, and 8. Get 1, 2, and 3, and 4. An 8 here, a 4 there. What are these 3? 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that's 4. Any other 3s? Not seeing any, so I guess top to bottom.
5, 6,
1,
8, 9.
5, 6, 5, 6, 9, 5, and 8. So that's an 8, a 9, 8, 9, 6, 5. These 4. 1, 2, 3.
And 9.
1, 2, 9, 3, 2, 3, 2. 3.
Box
Okay.
3 needs 6 and 8.
1,
1,
3,
3,
and
5.
5. 4 and
7. 2
3.
and
7,
1 and
6.
7. Or no, 1 and 6.
I don't know why I didn't see that 7 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. 8 and 9. There we go. Forgot to put the puzzle link in the description, or not the description, the chat, but oh well. Wrong spot. That looks right. Column 9. Alright, that was a nice puzzle and average-ish difficulty. This spot in this row was kind of difficult, and I think it's difficult to work through the options in here. Especially because if you don't ask the question of if this can be a 2, I don't think it's easy to spot what happens in this grouping. Without explicitly asking, could this be a 2? Yeah, the options in this row were very interesting in how they affected this one and that one, but mostly this one. Yeah, I guess I would say average. Alright. Anything else on this puzzle?
No.
Then, second puzzle today is going to be Harvest Lumber by Rock Rat Zero. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The grid contains no doubler fruit. They were delicious. Numbers outside the grid, including those on lines extending outside the grid, are xsums, which sum the first x digits from the clue, where x is the first digit seen. All the trees in the prior puzzle grid. Okay, apparently this is part of a series? Yeah. Rock Rat Zero. Oh, well, I mean, I put that in the wrong spot, so let's cut that and put that down there. And then we're looking at Harvest Lumber. I came upon an orchard carefully curated by blobs and attacked it with a chainsaw. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about this one. Or not talk about this one, solve this one. So let's go ahead and do that one real quick. I want Sudoku. Okay, so what we're going to do is our second puzzle for today is going to be Orchard by Blobs. And while I'm thinking about it, Orchard by Blobs. Bam, first try. Excuse me. Orchard by Blobs. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The grid contains 9 doubler fruit, 1 in each row, column, and box. Each tree has exactly 1 doubler fruit on 1 branch tip. 5 other fruits are scattered around the orchard. Cells containing a doubler fruit count as double their digit value. Each digit from 1 through 9 is doubled exactly once. Along the gray thermo tree, values must increase from the bulb end. Along the pink Renban tree, values form a non-repeating consecutive sequence. Along the blue region sum tree, values have an equal sum n within each box it passes through. Where the line passes through the same box more than once, each individual segment sums to n separately. Different lines may have different values for n. Values in cages sum to the given clue. So these two trees have different values. However, immediately we know that this tip here is going to be equal to the sum of this group and that group. So, or well, not pair.
But it says segments. Well, okay, never mind.
This green group, this purple group, and this orange single all have the same sum. So purple is equal to green is equal to orange. And the same thing is true over here. Purple, green, and orange. However, this tree might have a different value than this tree over here. Because when the line enters the tree more than once, that's how we get purple and orange. Because this line is a separate version than this group. Now, you are about to talk about how orange cannot equal the green group, right?
Right.
However,
well, it would have to be a doubler.
Exactly. So those are our doubled values, and we can't have another double on
As rows or columns.
Yeah. Cells. Each tree has exactly one doubler fruit on one branch tip. So if we were to say that we cannot have it anywhere else on the tree, and it cannot be in those regions, then that tells us that we have to have one here.
Oh, and since the pink tree has to have a doubler on a tip.
What's wrong? It has to be one of those two, so it can't be this, which would rule out both, and it can't be this, which would rule out both.
Okay, in box 7, there's a 17 cage. So the minimum for that 4-cell blue is 14.
Yeah. And if we look at this 17, it looks at another 17.
Right.
Which would normally not be possible, except for this being doubled. Means that one has to be, that one has to be, because there's one left in the box. I think I had missed that previously. There. Now, it's still an odd and an even. So this is odd, and that's even because it's doubled. But I cannot make this a 4, which doubles to 8 and then a 9, because this is maximum 7, which means this is minimum 5. A 6 would make this one a 5. A 7 would make this a 3, and an 8, which cannot be placed because we already have 8 and 9. So those are our digits. And we have a similar thing going on here, where we have 1 and 5, 3 and 4, 5 and 3, 7 and 2, 9 and 1. Except you can't put a 9. 9 and 1.
Well, and 6 on that, got a doubler, so the other half is going to have to be even.
Right. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8
Would be
would
4.
be 8. And then it has to go up. So 5, 6, 7. Right?
No. Because if we have 6, we need, what was that, at 16?
Yeah. It would be 4 more. So
Yeah.
a 6 would pair with 4.
Yeah, okay.
And we know that this is minimum 5, because this down here is minimum 10. And if we look at this tree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is 10, and then that would make that a 1-2 pair. Except
Yeah, and you can't
small
do that.
problem. Because these are going to have to be 5 and 6, aren't they? So I messed something up. Maybe I made the wrong assumption about the trees.
Yeah, look at on the trees again. Or the
I know those
rules.
have to be. The grid contains 9 doubler fruit, 1 in each row, column, and box. Each tree has exactly 1 doubler fruit on one branch tip. 5 other fruit are scattered around the orchard. Cells containing a doubler fruit count as double their digit value. Each digit from 1 through 9 is doubled exactly once.
All right, go down for where the blue is
Which
on
one?
the rules. The rules.
Along a blue region sum tree, values have an equal sum n within each box it passes through. Where the line passes through the same box more than once, each individual segment sums to n separately. Different lines may have different values for n. So like in this line,
Right,
it
but so
has
do
different
they
segments.
branch? Well, no, because it.
So each individual segment sums to n separately, where the line passes through the same box more than once. So this line
Yeah, that is
passes
all
through
one.
this box twice. So we the same thing I talked about before, where we've got purple
Right,
and
yeah.
green and orange. So these we know are doubled. 6, 7, 8. Okay.
All right. So go ahead and gray out the rows and columns and the trees that are complete. The blue tree is done on the box 3 to yeah, that tree is done.
If this stays like this, then we would know that this is 8, 9. And then this would be here. And then since this would see both of those, it can't be that one, which means it has to be this one. Wait, hold on. Even if I don't make that assumption, right, let's just start here. This is minimum 1, because if we look at our... Along the gray thermo tree, values must increase from the bulb end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Except if this doubles, it doesn't have to be a 5 or 6. So we know that this would be 5 or 6, or minimum 5. This is minimum 1.
Right.
Well,
The
let's
value
say it's
has
minimum
to
2.
double.
Yeah. So then, if it's this one, then it has to be greater than 4, which is minimum 3. If it doubles, that would make it 6.
But it can't be 3. For that to be 4, then you already have a 3 below it in the same box.
True. But we can move things around. But that what most importantly is it gives us extra freedom here. Whereas we didn't have that before when I said that that was 5 or 6. Because 3 would be 6, 4 would be 8, 5 is 10. We know that this is 5, minimum 5. So the maximum that can be in these two is 8. So I can't put another 5 here that's doubled. And if I make this an 8, 8 and 5 is already 13. So this would have to be a 3 if it's doubled.
But you
Which
can't
would
put
4, 5,
Oh, right.
6. And
Right.
since this is 6, these need to be 7, which would be 1 and 6. If we make this orange and say all of that is out.
Right.
Which makes sense to me.
Yeah, I forgot about the doubling on the...
Well, can't be a 2, because that's minimum 2. So this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 7, 9.
That's gray.
And, right. And so is that one. So this one's doubled, which fills in our column. That one. Puts that in. Pulls those out, places that, pulls those out. So now these two have to be 17, correct?
Yes.
So 7 and 9 pair.
7 and 9 is 16.
8, 9. 17 and 5. Which you'd think I would be able to do math, since I was able to
Right.
identify that was 17.
Right,
But
and the 17, yeah,
8,
makes the
9,
doubler.
orange, gray, gray, orange, gray, orange, and we can remove those. Maximum 7, minimum 5. If we increase this, this goes down by 2. That can't be an 8. And 8 pairs with 4. So decrease this by 2. This goes up by 1. That up by 1. There. And maximum 7. 7 pairs with a 4. Decrease by 2. Increase by 1. Increase by 1. Decrease by 2. And 5. That can't be 1 and 5. There's already a 1 up there. 8, 9 pair places a 7. Places a 2. Takes out 2 and 7. Three takes out 3, so that's a 4 paired with a 3, because 8 and 3 is 11. That 4 takes out that 4, 4 paired with 8. Right? 16 can't have 8 or 9 in it, and it can't have 5. So it's 3, 6, and 7. 1 and 4. And if this is doubled, it can't have a 4, so that's a 1, and that's a 4. One, 3, 4 is out. 5,
11
6,
cage in box 4. The left-hand side can't be.
5, 6, 6, 5, 7, 4, 8,
There's a 3
3,
in the column.
9, and 2. $16 here, can't have 1, can't have 6, and it can't have 3. So it has to have a 5. So 5 is out. And then it's either 2, 9 or 4, 7. Well, it can't have a 4 in it, so it's 2, 5, and 9. So it's 9 out. 3, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Well, 7 has to be one of those two, so it's not there. And if we have 7 on here already, 7 and 6 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Oh, if we have 7 and 6, that's 13. But this would have to have an 8 on it, which is 16. So I would need a 3. And if I did 7 and 3, that's 10. I cannot put a 1 to make 11. So that's not a 1, that is.
Well, and you can't make 12 on that branch because it's either 3, 7 or it's 6, 7. Well, 6, 7's already more.
Right. Well, then that's 3, 6, and 7, which is 16.
Right.
So 8's removed. 9, 8, 9. And to make that 16, I've got to make numbers work. 9, 8, 9. 9 and 8. Got it backwards.
Box 7. 3 and 9 is already 12. And 7 doubled is 14, so that's got to be 9 in that orange.
So 12 means I have 6.
6, 1, and 5.
4, 6 in the column. This is 3 and 1.
5, 7, 8 for the column, and then we're left over with a 6 at the bottom of column 1.
7. So what's going on here? We need 18. If I did 2 and 4, that's 6. I can't get up to 18, so I have to have a 6. 2 and 6 is 8, then I would need 10. So I'm going to have to do 4 and 6 and 8.
Places a 2.
2 and 7. So now I have to have a 6, because it's either 5, which pairs with a 6, because 5 doubled is 10, plus 6 is 16, or I place a 6, so 6 is one of those two.
17 cage in box 9. 6 comes out.
Right. 6
Which
would
removes the
pair
5.
5. So now I have to have 7. One is already out. 8 pairs with 3. 4 pairs with 7. Excuse me. 7 is rolled out of both of those, or is X-winged into both of those, so this cannot be 7. So I think this has to be. Or no, it doesn't. That could be 7. 2, 5, 6, and 7.
The 9 comes out of the one in box
Right.
6, yeah. So where does 9 go in box 6? Oh, it could go on the tree. Never mind. Doot. Well, it can't go on the bottom row at all. But...
Yeah. Can I put a 1 on this tree? Not there, not there, not there. So no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So the tree has to have a 9 on it.
Yeah. But it could be one of those 3 locations. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, and 4. Make 16.
So in box 2, the 2 has to go on. No, it doesn't have to go on the tree. Never mind. On that 9 cage, you can't have 8 on the right.
Yeah. Can't put 7 in either of them, so 2 comes out as well. If it was a 4-5 pair, that would leave 6 and 7. But it's
Oh,
either
where
4,
does 7
7.
go in box 3?
One of those two.
X-wing with box 9?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 7 has to go over there.
So it's either 4, 7 or 5, 6. If this was a 3 and a 7, you'd get 7 and a 3, 6 pair. It would have to be 1, 8. But if we do the 7s this way, wait, no, if we do the 7s this way, that's a 5. You get 3 and 6 going that way, which you compare with a 3, 6 going this way. And you do 4, 7. And that's a 4 paired with a 6. Oh, where is 6 in box 2? Because it's along these 3, or 4 rather. If this was a 6, it would rule out of those two. But it's also on the Renban tree, so I can't repeat it.
Oh, right.
5's the same way, though.
Yes, but oh.
So now we're... Did we make a wrong assumption somewhere? Because we shouldn't run into this problem. I don't want to restart again, but... we know that these two have to be doubled. It rules out row, column, and box. Column, row, box.
And the rest of their tree.
What if I just rule out the other tips? Each tree has exactly one doubler fruit on one
right.
branch tip. So what if we said the trunk
Not
was
the
still a
actual
possibility?
tree.
Then, these two, it has to be one of them. So then it can't be any of those. And it has to be one of those two, so it can't be either of these. So it has to be one of those, so that rules out the rest of there. Can we make any progress if we start our assumptions from here?
But it says each tree has exactly one
Doubler
doubler
fruit
fruit on
on
one
one
branch
branch
tip.
tip.
So that would tell me that since it has to be on a branch tip, then the rest of the trunk cannot be. So Yeah, that would definitely rule out the rest of the tree.
which would force this one. So then this would have to be a 3, making this a 6, a 5, and a 4. Because 6 and 6 is 12 plus 1.
Right.
This cannot be doubled.
Well, and that tree also has a root already, so.
Yeah. 5
5.
would leave 17, which is 8, 9. 16 can't have 8, 9, or 5. Those were marked out. So that is 3, 6, or 7. 1, 2, and 4, 2, 7, 8, 9.
Well, and the two 17 cages in row 9.
9. This would have to be doubled. This would have to be doubled. This one's doubled. The only way this 17 works is if that's doubled. Okay, if this doesn't work, then there has to be one that has to end up on a tree. This 16. 1, 6, and 3. 4 is a potential.
But it has to have 5 in it.
Yeah.
Takes the 5 off the tree. And 5 has to go on the bottom row of box 2. So you cannot have 5 on the tree tip.
And that takes 6 off of that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8 and 3.
Well, and
There's
since
2.
11 is odd, the double becomes even. That has to be odd in the tree tip.
Right. And that's set up completely. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 1 and 9 aren't possibilities. 3 pairs with 8. 5 pairs with 6. And 7 pairs with 4. 2 and 7 is removed.
So 3 has to be in that domino.
Right.
Oh,
7 goes with 5.
so
6, 5
in box 4, we can place the 3.
Oh, it has to be there. 5 will pair with 6. Increase that to 7, that's 14. 14 will need a 3. And I can't go to 8 if we pair with a 1. I already have a 3, so that's a 4. 4 is 8, needs 3 more. 4 makes that a 1, makes that a 4. Now this can't have 4 in it. 2, 5, and 9. Takes 9 out. 1, 3, 6, 7, 8.
Box
3 and
5,
6
the 4
is
comes off the doubler.
right. Paired with 8.
Oh. Something just occurred to me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the Renban, is it the value or is it the actual number?
Oh, right.
Values.
Values form a
That's 12
non-repeating
or
consecutive
17.
sequence. And it can't go more than 9. Or it would have to be maximum 5. But if I put a 5 here, that doesn't eliminate the 5 from the Renban, because this is a 10 now.
Right. But that's wrong. The 16 cage.
Fixed it.
So we were right before, but we forgot about the doubler on the Renban.
Yeah. Because we've got 4, 7, 8. Is that right? Yeah. 7. Nope.
8 comes off of...
Yeah. That's 12 plus 3 is 15, so that's 9. 1 and 5. 1.
4, 6.
That has to be
5,
6.
7, 8.
8. If I did 2 and 4, well, I
Well, it
have to get
can't be
18.
2.
And the
The
maximum
11
here is
cage.
8, so that has to be minimum 10. This is a 6. And
7.
now 7 does have to go on here. 7 and 6 is 13, plus 1 is 14.
But you can't get to 16. Oh, yeah, you can, because it would be a 6. Never mind.
I can't make 12. Because 3 and
Right.
7 is 10. I'd have to put a 2 on there. And 7 and 6 is 13, which is not 12. Or which is more than 12. So this is an 8. And now, 3 and 7 would be 10, and I would require a 6. Or I do 6 and 7, which is 13, and it would require a 3. So it's not a 1.
The 1. Yeah.
7 is 14, plus 3 to make 17. These 3 sum to 10.
Mm-hmm.
6
Can't have
and
6.
3. These 2 aren't 5. That's not 1 or 4. That's not a 2. 1 and 4 is 5 plus 10. If I made this a 2, well, then those would be 5. So that has to be a 5, and that has to be a 2. And then this, well, it can't be a 4 or 5, so it has to be like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 2, that's a 6.
Column 8's 2, 8, 9.
5, 9, and 3. No, there's a 3 at the bottom. 4. One is never allowed. 8 pairs with 3, 4 pairs with 7, 6 pairs with 5. And if this was 2, 9, those would both be 8. So 5, 6, 9, 9, 2, 5, 1, 5, 1. 3, 7, 9. 9 is there, not there. 1 and 8.
Row 9 is 2, 5, and 4.
2, 3, 5, and 6. That's a 10. I still need a 9 on here, but it would go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
So 2 can't be on there.
Right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. And 5 has to be one of those two. And you just said 2 can't be on there, so that's a 2. And then 4, 6, 8, 9, 4, 8, 8, 9, 6, 3, 4, 6, 8. That's a 4 apparently. Not a 4.
There's
No
only one 4
5.
possibility for the tree. Pink tree.
7, 6, 3, and 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 3, 5 gives us a pair of 6s. And a 3.
Row 5, 9. 2 and 3.
2, 3, 5. 7, 8. 7, 2, 7, 8, 2. Need a 1, 2, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First try, no mistakes. I kind of dislike these doubler puzzles because of stuff like this. Where you've got the 5 on here twice. I know that that's my bad for misreading the rules.
Well, and we also forgot
Yeah.
about the doubler value, so.
Where was the other spot? Because we restarted 3 times. What was the other way? Because we got the same doublers every time.
The doubler in box 1 being a 3.
We messed that part up.
Because we forgot it had the doubler value worked for the
and
thermo.
I think part of it's me trying to go too fast. So I don't know. But we did it. So row 8. Followed by row 9. Congratulations, solved the puzzle. I'm trying to think of like how difficult it would have been if we hadn't made those mistakes, and I honestly don't think it would have been that difficult. Because the logic was right. If we just remembered that this part here wasn't broken, because this is doubled, so
yeah, we had the same doublers throughout.
Yeah. And this part here had to be a 10 because it couldn't be anything smaller. Trying to decide between easy and average.
I would go ahead and bump it up to the average just because of the... Oh yeah, forgot that.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep those rules in mind.
Yeah. I guess most people are rating it on the average side. I wonder if they're thinking along the same lines as we are. And maybe I'm trying to bump the difficulty down too much because we've made mistakes. And if we hadn't made those mistakes, then who knows? Doesn't matter. That one is done. Orchard. This one was technically sourced by Logic Masters Germany. Gives us this link. And then we go to Harvest Lumber. There we go. Okay, so this one. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The grid contains no doubler fruit. They were delicious. Numbers outside the grid, including those on lines extending outside the grid, are X sums, which sum the first X digits from the clue, where X is the first digit seen. All the trees in the prior puzzle grid were chopped for logs. All logs are 2 cells long and stacked in the southeast corner of the grid. Along the gray thermo stump and logs, values must increase from the bulb end. Along the pink Renban stump and logs, values must form a non-repeating consecutive sequence in any order. Along the blue sum line stumps and logs, values have an equal sum n within each box they pass through. Different lines may have different values of n. Values in cages sum to the given clue. Oops, button. There. Okay.
Well, there's a 2-cell 16 cage and a 2-cell 17 cage.
7, 9, 8, 9.
So are those But will those 2-cell logs have the same numbers as?
As the previous puzzle?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure how this blue line works.
Well,
Because
once you come up with it's going to be the same digit.
I guess that's
That's
true.
also it's an X sum. So
Yeah. Those two are the same. Those two are the same. And those two are the same. Not that it really matters.
well, the 16 X sum, it can't be done in 2. It's going to have to be minimum 3.
Four or five.
Can't be in 5. Oh,
Right, because of the
yeah,
7
good.
or 9 below it.
Right.
Because if it was in 5, that would be 1 through 5, which is 15. Then you'd bump the 5 up to a 6. Well, then,
Well,
then now
and
you don't have a 5, so the 5 doesn't work anyway.
with 9, you can't have 4 because 9 and 7 is 1, 2, 4, and there's already a 1. 9 and
Right.
3 is 12, which would be 1 and 3, and you can't do that either.
Well, 9 and 3 would need 4 more,
Right. Oh,
which
right.
would be a 4.
7 needs 9 total. So that would be a 6, 11, and 5. 1 and 4. It would have to put 2, 3. And you can't do that if it's 4. 4 and 7 is 11, and you need 5. Well, you can't do. So it can't be 4 at all, right?
Because 4 and 9 was 13, and you'd need a 1, 2. So, yeah. 3, 4, 6. This 16 does not have a 3 in it. This 13 does not have a 3 in it. 22.
That's going to be minimum 4.
Well, 1 through 7 is
28
yeah, so 7's not allowed. And 1 through 6 is 21.
is 20.
So to make it 22, you change the 6 into a 7, and now suddenly you don't have a 6 in the group. So it has to be 4 or 5. A 4 would leave 18, which is definitely possible in 3. And 5 would leave 17, which you can do in 4. Now, this one is minimum 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. If you do 4 and 5, that's 9. Well, you can't do 4 and 5. So 4 and 6 would be 3, which wouldn't be possible. So this has to be 1 or 2. So if this is a 2, these would have to be 11, which would be 4 and 7. Although you can do 4 and 8 for 12, so I don't know why I did 2 and 4 first.
Well, and the right hand end cannot be 5 because you
Right.
can't get 8 from what's left.
It can't be 4 either.
Right.
Yeah, because 4 and 5 would require a 4. So that moves 4 and 5 from both of those, because we know this is 4 or 5.
Okay,
So
row
this had to be
1,
mid
if you look
6.
at 13 and 16, that's 29, and 3 is 32. Those sum to 13.
4 and 5 isn't allowed, so it has to have a 1 or a 2.
So
Oh,
in box
apparently it
2,
can't
the
have a
2
4
has
at all. Oh, we can put the 4 over there, though. Sorry.
box 2, the 2 has to go in the center column, which puts it in box 8 on the bottom. Or on the right, whatever.
17 and 3. Two 11s is 22.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum 8 would be 30 and
Yeah, that's 14 or 15.
Well, that's not too bad. So then it's just figuring out the xsum possibilities that could be down here. And this could be a 10.
Right.
But if it's maximum 10, well, let's say it was 10. I couldn't do it in 1. And I can't use a 3. 10 has to be done in 4, but it couldn't be done in 4 because that would have to be 1 through 4. The 1's not out. So whatever this is, it can't be a 4, and it can't be a 1 or a 3. So this has to be a 2. So then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, it can't be 10, or excuse me, it can't be 11, so we take out the 9. And it can't be 8 because it pairs with this digit right here, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can't be a pair of 7s because that would break the 7, 9 up there. So now this is 6, 7, or 8. Well, if that's 6, 7, or 8, this is 5 through 9.
Oh, column 5, sorry. That right there that you just highlighted cannot be a 2
Because it can't
because there's a
go,
3.
yeah, can't go to 1 or 3 as next to the
Which
2.
places 2 in box 2? Yeah.
Can't be a 9. If this was a 3, you'd have to put 1 and 2 on there, but we have to have a 1 or a 2 inside of the 16, so 3 is out. I could have 1 and 3 there, and then you have a 2.
Yeah, but if you have oh, never mind.
So that makes this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, and 7. This has to be smaller, or excuse me, has to be larger than this. So this is 1 through 5, not a 3. And it's an 11, so 1 is out. 9, 7, and 6. Can't think of a reason why 2 and 9 isn't allowed. So 8, 6, 5. Okay, well, these two we know are the same. 1 and 3, 8 and 9, and 2. And it can't be 7.
4, 5, 6 triple in column 6.
Right.
So 7, 8, 9 is what's left.
And one of these two has to be 5, which means one of those two has to be 5, both of which see here, so 5 and 6.
And since one of those has to be 5, then in column 7,
5.
yeah.
What about these two? 3 is out, 5 is out, 8 and 9 is out. Unfortunately, not as restricted
Mm-mm.
as the rest of it. Well, this is minimum 3. And so 3 and 1 aren't consecutive. So 1 is out.
Well, and 7, so 9 is out at the bottom of the...
Right. 9 isn't consecutive with 7. Well, where can 1 go in here? It can't go where I already have digits. And it can't go on the top half of these pink lines.
And it can't be the blue.
Because if we're
'Cause
saying
that
that
would be
those are
1,
the
1, and 1.
same, yeah. So 1 has to be one of those, which is going to place... Well, this has the option of being 1, which would give those the ability to still be 2.
But the first one of the in box 9, if that's 1, then above it has to be 2. And then you would have to have 15 because for the rest of and 6 and 9, and you can't have 9, so that can't be 1.
Right. Because 6 and 8 is 14, that means this is minimum 3. And, well, 5 could be up there, so we're still allowed to have 5 in those. It can't be 1 or 2, so that's 3 through 9 as well.
If the box 9, the other one on the Renban possibility, if that's 1, then above it has to be a 2. And I don't remember what I was thinking.
I'm not certain
I don't know.
what would happen. I guess you would have to have these two summed together because
Right.
of the X sum. And we know that this is maximum 9. Well, actually, it's maximum 7.
Right.
Oh. Let's imagine this was a 3. Well, then those would be minimum 4 and 5. Because they can't be 2. That one we know can't be 2. Why can't this be a 2? I think it can be? Because that just can't be a 1
Oh,
forcing
because
a 2.
if it's 2, the 17 cage.
Right, because 6 and 8 is 14. And 2 would make 16, which isn't 17. So again, if this was a 3, those would be 4, 5, which would
Where
make
does 2
12.
go in box? But that can't be 1.
So this has to be a 2.
Well,
Because if it was 3, it would be 12. Or, yeah,
right.
12. And we can't represent 12 there. Now, that doesn't tell us anything about the 1, but this is 1 or 3.
Well, and since blue is the same, what's outside there, well, you can't go to 11.
Well,
So
9 and 8
8
are
and
out.
9, yeah.
So 9 is out of this one. Oh. 3 is removed. Because these two sum to that. So 4,
Right.
6, 5, 7, 6, 8, 7, 9. Oh, 8 and 9 is removed because of the 17 over here.
Right.
So 6 and 7 is out. 4, 5, 6, and 7 is a quad.
Right. So those come out, yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, 1, and 9.
Okay, and that's 3, 8 in the 17 cage. 3 requires 14, and you can't get to 14 with 6 and 5 is 11.
12
those sum to
plus 5. 2, 9. 3 and 6. 5 and 5. 5, 4. Those are 6, 7, 4. 1, 8, 6, 8, 5. This is 7. So that's a 7. So this has to be 6 or 8. Doesn't matter which. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, not 6. 7, 9, and 2.
Well, the blue, those two sum to, and it can't be 1 and 7 or 2 and 6, so it's got to be 3 and 5.
And 6
That's gonna
left
be
over in the
6.
column. 6 is out.
And 6 sums to 10, or well,
1, 3, and 8. 3 and 7. Excuse me.
that's 1, 8, and 4.
Six, 9, 5, and 8 are out. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Be a 5.
6 pairs with 5 and 7. 7 with 6 and 8. And 9 only with 8. One, 2, 3. Or those two aren't 2, so that is. That's the one that's a 3. Now 6, 7, 8, 9. Where it's not an 8. Apparently that's a 1 now. That's an 8, so that's a 2. 2, not an 8. 7. Those are 18. Need 5 more.
The
9.
vertical 11 cage in box 4. It has to be 5 and 6.
2, 9, 8, and 3, 5, and 6. So 4, 7 across, which leaves a 3 and a 6. So you go down 2, 5, 4, or up 2, 7, 8. Not a 7, not an 8, not a 5, not a 6. That's an 8, that's not an 8, that's not an 8. 8 goes down to 7 just fine.
The Renban in column 5. The top of it can't be a 4.
4 because there wouldn't be a 5, so that's a 5. And I can go to
4
5
and
or
7
7.
still works.
Or, yeah, 4 or 7, excuse me. And now this is odd, and it has to be consecutive with this, so this must be an even 6, and 6 isn't consecutive with 9. 5 and 7. 1 and 8.
I was gonna say row 6 is 1 and 9, and since that's an 8. 2.
4, 8, 1. 3 and 8. 2
2
and
and 9.
2.
1, 3, 6. 4, 5, 7.
7. 22.
Oh,
That's
man.
gonna fix those. 5, 10, 18. I need
Oh, right.
4 more. There we go. Harvest lumber. Row 8
Even after you
followed by
said the
row.
22, I wasn't seeing that.
Whoops.
So we really didn't have to do the other one first.
No, but they were related enough that it was fun to do the other one first. Yeah. Difficulty wise. I remember the start being a little tricky and it being finicky in some places, but I think the hardest thing to figure out was this one right here. Just simply the fact that it didn't matter what this digit was. It couldn't be 1 because then those would both be 1. And then, because neither of those could be 2, if this was a 3, then 4 and 5 plus 3 is 12. And since the blue line was there, that forced this to be a 2. I thought that was pretty tricky. I don't know if we had to be as finicky in there. It was just simply asking the question, could these be 2? And we'd already eliminated the possibilities there. And then this being a 2 eliminated the possibilities there. I think this one was kind of tricky, but for some reason I found it easier than that one. But I guess knowing that the maximums there really limited those. So maybe I shouldn't have found those as tricky as they were, because, I mean, from the very beginning of the puzzle, we knew this was max 9 and this max 10, so that made this 1 through 4, and this one 1 through 3. The blue line immediately eliminates a 1 as a possibility, so that is 2 or 3. And then as soon as you eliminate 2 as a possibility from both of those, then that can't be a 3. And this couldn't be a 1 unless that was a 2. Oh, this couldn't be a 1 because of the 1 in the column. So this was still 2, 3, or 4. 4 is eliminated because of the 1. So now it's 2 or 3. And I think by the time I got there, there was already a 3 somewhere. Maybe at the top of the 16. Yeah, the top of the 16.
Mm-hmm.
So that had to be a 2. Yeah. So I think this was easier. So it's on the easy, maybe average, below light side of average. It depends on how you look at it, of course. And of course, like those I don't know. The mathematics part of it isn't necessarily easy, which makes me want to bump this up to average anyway. I don't know, it's on the easier side of average. We'll go with that. And it seems to be average is where most people are putting it, so I tend to place it more difficult than most other people, so the fact that I was arguing for easy and pushed up to average feels appropriate. Alright, that is the time we have for today. Anything else that you want to talk about before we sign off, Mama?
Not that I know of.
Alright, then anyone who watches this back, thank you so much. Make sure you've liked, commented, and subscribed, rung the notification bell, and shared the video with at least 2 people. That would be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, if you are interested in more content on this channel, Sudoku is always at Mondays, or excuse me, I'm not going to say always Mondays and Tuesdays, but it has been Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for the time being and for the foreseeable future, and Monster Hunter World on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and I will be playing Final Fantasy VI at random times whenever I find the time to stream it. Aside from that, if you want to see me play any other games or do any other type of gaming, logic puzzle stuff or things, or anything else you want to suggest in the comments section down below, make sure to do that. And I think that's all of the fancy YouTube engagement things I can think of. But if you can think of any other fancy YouTube engagement stuff, make sure to do that. Fancy YouTube engagement is very helpful. I can't think of anything else. So, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.